Hi guys, if you have clicked on this video wondering what am I watching, let me set the scene for you. We're Hutch and Tubbs. We're empty nesters. We've been married for 23 years.
We're slow traveling. We're kind of doing 90-180 Schengen travel, which is 90 days in Schengen countries and 90 days out. If you are someone who is in midlife and is looking to do the things that you want to do that feel aligned to you, we're probably a channel for you. We're especially a channel for you if you want to travel indefinitely, because that is exactly what we're doing.
Yeah, see what it's like. Oh, by the way, we're doing cheese and crackers right now. This was like our son's favorite meal before he left, right?
No, he was wondering where all his dinners went because I
Like
was thoroughly uninterested in cooking dinners
We eat
anymore.
cheese and crackers. There's enough for everybody. Quinn.
Cheese and crackers for dinner.
He's like,
where's dinner?
why am I not getting fed?
In 2025, like, stuff went down.
This is why we started traveling.
Our son, Quinn, he graduated high school and he went to New York. Our apartment building that we lived in from the time Quinn was in kindergarten got sold and demolished. And my dad died of a long-term illness.
Rest in peace, Phil.
And so we just kind of went, how are we going to redefine our midlife and what do we want to do and how do we want to live this next half? And like, also, who are you? Who are you?
Who are you?
Who are you? Who are you with no kid in the house?
You look familiar, but I don't know.
Familiar, but I don't know. I need to get to know you again.
Who you are. So we're going to do a little recap to bring you up to date on what we've been doing so far.
The first 2.5 weeks were basically vacation because my mom and Quinn were with us. So we weren't doing what this is. Like that was much more vacation mode.
Because when we left LA, it was actually January 1st.
It was December 31st, 2025.
Everybody, we found ourselves, at this Airbnb in the northern part of Rome.
Ponte Milvio.
Well, it's New Year's Eve. It wasn't like the plan, really.
Yeah,
we didn't think we'd get there in time. But by the time we were settled, it was like 9 or 10 o'clock.
Well, and the plane had been delayed a bit, and so stuff happened.
So then we're like, well, let's go get something to eat.
And then they were letting off fireworks on the bridge, and there was a big party on the bridge, and we had a really great dinner at the restaurant below, and it was all just kind of unexpected and lovely.
Basically, they put on a show for us and fireworks. Welcome to Rome, Hutch and Tubbs, right?
Yes,
That was
it was
the
just
idea,
for
right?
us.
Yeah.
But it was actually
New Year's as well, but
meaningful because it really put a point on the fact that we were starting this new thing on literally New Year's Eve.
We went to all the classics. We went to the Colosseum.
Yeah, the old town where the ruins are.
Oh, the Forum. We went to the Forum.
The Forum, yeah. Old town, Old Town Rome.
That old place. After that, once we were done with Rome, we got on a train and we went all the way through to Venice.
Headed to Venice.
It's the only thing for it. This is when we discovered that our American suitcases were too big. They were like the XL suitcases.
Well, and there were 4 of them because we had my mom and Quinn as well. So
crazy stuff.
Like we should say, like, the only thing that Kira and I brought, we each brought one extra large suitcase, a carry-on suitcase, and a backpack, but also a Leia, who is our dog. And so she's coming with us everywhere. So that's what we take with us from place to place.
That's it.
But we were only in Venice for 1 day, essentially. It was like overnight. It was like 2 days, full days, because we got there in the morning.
So then we were done with Venice, and that's when we got on the train to go to Florence. And we had a nice Airbnb right by the Duomo. It was like right down the street. You walk layer outside to go pee. You look to the left, and there's this beautiful Duomo, which is incredible.
My mom and Quinn actually left when we were in Florence. They'd been there for a week too.
At the end of that week.
That was like 2.5 weeks. And Karen and I didn't really know what we were going to do from there because the way that we're doing this is like, we're not booking Airbnbs months in advance because for us, this is like living. So, we can't book them months in advance because we're not totally sure where we're going to be or how long we're going to stay at some place. And also we want to pay our bills month to month. So we don't want 6 months worth of bills up front because we pay our bills month to month. So we thought that maybe we would stay in Florence for a little while longer. And then we kind of got a not great Airbnb in the center of Florence that smelled like sewage.
And even they were sort of like, well, it's good for short stays.
Yeah.
You're getting it for like 3 days.
It probably would be. Like, you
it was
just
really,
go in and out.
It was really central. We're right by everything.
Yeah.
But we were potentially going to be there for like 3 weeks.
Yeah, we were supposed to be there for a whole nother month. And so we decided.
So we got out of that. And
so we stayed in Florence for like another 5 days. And then we got a hotel in Florence for a couple days. And then we decided where we were going to go to next.
We got out the map. And you look at the Airbnbs and you look at the map of Italy.
I wanted to go to the beach. And honestly, like we just spent so much money in those first 2.5 weeks doing vacation. It was time to tighten our belts. That I was like, this place is like right on the beach and it's super cheap. It was like $900 for a whole month and it was a house. And so I was like, this is it. This is the one.
Sant'Elpidio, it is. The interesting thing, we found out pretty quickly that it's a summer place, and we were there right in the dead of winter. And there's just nobody there. Like there's locals, and we went to that bar that first night. And we, had a drink, started, chatted to some people, and they were like, "So why are you here? This doesn't make any sense. This is a summer place. And they're almost embarrassed, going, "We're so sorry, it's so quiet." We're like, "But that's actually what we're looking for. We're looking for quiet."
And to be honest, at that point, I talk about this in another one of our Instagram videos. I think that everything was kind of catching up to me as well at that point, because for most of 2025, my nervous system was really dysregulated. I was in a state
what happened?
Of anxiety for most of the time, just because all of this stuff was happening.
Everything was happening one on top of each other.
And it's not that I was dealing with it. It was fine, but I think that I thought that I was fine. And then once we kind of got to Italy, and we got to Porto San Elpidio, I realized, oh shoot, like I think I'm actually grieving a little bit here. And so Porto San Elpidio, the quietness of it, the fact that there wasn't a lot to see, there was like a day trip every weekend basically that were really great, like very picturesque, but it was a really, I think, good time for me to decompress and kind of get my nervous system back in order again. The other funny thing about Italy is I'm Italian, and the longer that you kind of follow us, the more that you will know how much I love food. Like I'm very food driven. I'm like a dog, food motivated. And so
I wouldn't characterize you as like a dog, Nicole.
I was so looking.
But I get the analogy.
I was so looking forward. Like it's my treat. Like I'm like, oh, I get a treat.
She loves food.
I love a sweet treat. I was so looking forward to Italy. I'd never been, and I love Italian food. My parents had an Italian restaurant when I was a kid. And then they use sunflower oil as their neutral oil.
Which was a big surprise because we thought, well, this is the land of olive oil.
Yeah,
right?
And basically everything. And I'm allergic to sunflower oil. So Italy was like, I love Italy, but we'll probably go to Sicily. But I was also like, it was really, really difficult to eat anywhere.
This is the other thing that we found out too when we're in these non-English speaking countries. You have to learn how to ask in restaurants, what
olio di girasole.
So Italian was
olio di girasole.
When we were done with Porto San Elpidio,
we gave our Instagram and TikTok followers 3 choices after looking at the Paris Airbnb map. And those guys did such a good job of voting. They picked Boulogne-sur-Mer, which is also on the coast in France, kind of not far from Calais.
Yeah, we caught a train up to Ancona and caught a plane to Paris.
But actually, we didn't see Paris straight away.
We immediately got on a train up to Boulogne-sur-Mer to stay there for
a month. And that month brought us to actually our 3-month, 90-day time period, although it was like 80 days. You don't want to wait for exactly 90 days. That's not a good move.
We're going to talk about France in a different video.
Yeah.
Like this was the Italy recap. We're going to try to post more here on YouTube. We have the TikTok and the Instagram. Please like, subscribe, and share.